If A equal to I plus j plus k, B is minus I minus j minus k, then angle made by A minus B with A. So let us find A minus B first. Of course, there are vectors. Let us not write vector notation because it kills time. Okay. A minus B, 1 minus of minus 1 is 2i, 1 minus of minus 1 plus 2j, 1 minus of minus 1 plus 2k. This is A minus B, and A is plus I plus j plus k. So here A minus B can be written as 2 times I plus j plus k. So this is one of the properties of vectors. So angle between these two is 0 degree. And what do you mean by these two? If this is A, then A minus B is 2 times that A. So 2 times the length is A minus B. This is A, this is A minus B. So angle between these two is 0. An aeroplane is flying at a speed of 200 km per hour at an angle of 60 degree to the vertical. At 12 noon, what is the speed of the shadow of the aeroplane on the ground? This is horizontal, vertical. This is the direction of motion of the aeroplane, which makes an angle 60 degree to the vertical, means this angle. At 12 noon means if sun is somewhere here, then shadow of the aeroplane is on the ground. This is the horizontal component of this velocity. This component is away from 60, therefore 200 sine 60. You understood this, right? If this is vector v, this is theta, x component means this component closer to theta will be with cos theta, and the other component is away from theta, sin theta, v sin theta. So this component is away from theta, this component is away from theta, therefore 200 sin theta. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. Therefore 200 by 2, 100 root 3. 100 root 3. If vector A equal to vector B plus vector C and ABC have scalar magnitudes 5, 4, 3 units respectively, then angle between A and C. If you observe these numbers 5, 4, 3 triplets, we think that answer is pi by 2 because Pythagoras theorem. But please write the diagram and analyze. A equal to B plus C, fine, 5, 4, 3. A, B, C, 5, 4, 3. 5, 4, 3. So corresponding diagram is, this is B, this is C. Complete the parallelogram. Draw the diagonal. Diagonal is the sum of these two. A plus B plus C equal to A. So hypotenuse is 5, this is 5, this is 4, and this is 3. Angle between A and C means this angle. And observe the options. Cos inverse pi by 2, it cannot be pi by 2. Ruled out. Sin inverse of 3 by 4. So let us find cos function. Cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. So cos theta equal to 3 by 5. Therefore theta is cos inverse of 3 by 5. If we don't get this answer, we have to check these two. Okay. Fortunately, in the first option only we got the answer, so it is fine. If A equal to B plus C and ABC have scalar magnitudes of 6, 10, 8 respectively. Then angle between B and C. So A equal to B plus C. Fine. ABC 6, 10, 8. This is 6, 10, 8. Angle between B and C. Angle between B and C means, let us use the formula for magnitude of the vectors. That is A square equal to B square plus C square plus 2AB cos theta, and we have to find theta. Okay. A square is 36. B square 100. C square 64. 2 into 10 into 8 into cos theta. So this is minus 128. This is 160 cos theta, or cos theta equal to minus 128 by 160, or else minus 32 4 times, 32 5 times. With little simplification we get 4 by 5. So minus 4 by 5. So theta is cos inverse of minus 4 by 5. Cos inverse of 4 by 5. Cos inverse of 3 by 5. So they have expressed cos inverse of minus theta minus x as pi minus cos inverse of 4 by 5. Whenever you have minus sign here for cos inverse, make sure that it is pi minus cos inverse of 4 by 3. Okay. So here is the answer. This is from one of the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. If the magnitude of sum of two vectors is equal to magnitude of difference of two vectors, the angle between the vectors is, magnitude of sum is equal to magnitude of the difference means standard result, angle should be 90 degree. Meaning of the question, if this is A and this is B, two different magnitudes, complete the parallelogram, draw the diagonal. So this diagonal is A plus B. If this is B, then this is minus B, isn't it? Equal and opposite. Now let us add these two. When we add these two, what we get is A plus of minus B, A minus B. See, length of this hypotenuse is equal to length of this hypotenuse. Length means magnitude. So magnitude of A plus B equal to magnitude of A minus B is true only for angle between the vectors 90 degree. So this is 90. It's a standard result. Okay. Now, other than 90 degree, let us discuss at least one case. If this is A, this is B, and observe angle between A and B is acute. Then complete the parallelogram, draw the diagonal. This diagonal represents A plus B. Fine. If this is B, then this is minus B. This is A. Complete the parallelogram, draw the diagonal. We can clearly see that length of this A minus B is different from length of A plus B. So a magnitude of A plus B is equal to magnitude of A minus B for 90 degree only. The x and y components of a force F acting at 30 degree to x-axis, y-axis, x-axis, this is force F, this angle is 30 degree, x component and then y component. This is x component, this component is closer to 30, therefore F cos 30, cos 30 is root 3 by 2 times F. First x component, root 3 by 2, root 3 by 2 F. This is the answer. Of course, we don't have to check this, but still, since this is practice time, go to the other component, y component. This component is away from 30, Therefore sine 30, therefore f sine 30. F sine 30 is half f by 2. F by 2. The angle subtended by the vector, this with x-axis. Again, this is also standard result. Angle made by the vector with respect to x-axis means cos alpha equal to magnitude of the vector along x-axis by magnitude of the vector. So this is 4. This is 4 by a. Magnitude of a means root of ax square 16 plus ay square 9 plus 12 square 144. This is 12 square. This gives 25. 25 is 5 square. 5, 12. The other one is 13. So resultant of these three is 13. Numerator is 4. So alpha equal to angle equal to cos inverse of 4 by 13. Cos inverse of 4 by 13. Similarly, angle subtended by the vector with respect to y-axis means consider 3 y component, coefficient of j cap, 3 by 13. Okay. If vectors a and b are such that magnitude of a plus b equal to a equal to magnitude of b, then a minus b may be equated to. Understand this result. This is a, b, magnitude of a equal to b, and sum of those two is also equal to either of these two means this result is true only for 120 degree, isn't it? This is a, this is b. I am keeping length of this equal to this. Let me complete the parallelogram. This is the resultant. Diagonal passing through the common initial point represents the sum, which is a plus b. Observe, length of this equal to this equal to this. True only when theta is 120 degree. Fine. Then a minus b may be equated to. Here is a. This is b. If this is b, then this is minus b. Complete the parallelogram. Draw the diagonal. This is sum of these two vectors. This is a, this is minus b. So this is a minus b. This angle is 120. So naturally angle between these two vectors is 60. If it is 60, then resultant is a square plus b equal to a. Magnitude of this equal to magnitude of this. Direction is different. A square plus 2a cos theta. Theta is 60. Cos 60 is half. This half into 2 is 1. A square plus a square plus a square is 3a square, which is resultant square, and resultant equal to root 3a. Root 3a. The resultant of two forces acting at an angle of 120 degree is 10 kg weight is perpendicular to one of the forces. So resultant is perpendicular. Let this be one of the forces. This is the resultant. See, resultant is perpendicular to one of the forces. I should draw the other force here. Before this, let me keep this length same. This length same, because I have to draw the parallelogram, isn't it? So this is second vector. Because if I draw the parallelogram, the resultant is perpendicular to first, and this is also the diagonal of the parallelogram. This angle is 120. This is 90. Therefore remaining angle is 30 degree. They are asking perpendicular and is perpendicular to one of the forces. This is that force. Let it be A. If this is A, this is A. It's a parallelogram. Then the force is opposite side to this 30 degrees wanted. This adjacent side is 10 kg weight. Opposite adjacent means tan function. Tan of 30 degree equal to opposite is A, adjacent is 10. Therefore, A equal to 10 tan 30 is 1 by root 3. 10 by root 3 kg weight. If vector A plus vector B equal to vector C and A plus B equal to C, magnitudes of the vectors is equal to C, A plus B equal to C, then angle included between A and B is, or angle between A and B is, angle between these two. This is a standard result, right? If this is A, this is B, then the resultant equal to A plus B. Sum of their magnitudes is the resultant if theta equal to 0 degree. Similarly, if it is given A minus B equal to C, then this is A, this is B, then difference of these two should be the resultant, R. So here angle is 180 degree. So it's a trivial question. So theta is 0. The x and y coordinates of the particle at any time are x equal to 5t minus 2t square, y equal to 10t respectively, where x and y are in meters and t is in second. The acceleration of the particle at t equal to 2 seconds is. By observing these equations, we can say that this is uniform velocity and this is uniform acceleration. Since we want acceleration in time t, consider this: x equal to 5t minus 2t square. Differentiate, we get velocity 5 minus 2 into 2, 4t. This is dx by dt, isn't it? Then differentiate again to get acceleration, d square x by dt square equal to, which is acceleration, constant becomes 0, minus 4. So minus 4 meter per second square. Now the second method, x equal to 5t minus 2t square, x equal to 5t minus 2t square. This is of the form s equal to ut plus half at square. Displacement, time square, fine. So in place of half a, we have minus 2. Half a equal to minus 2. A equal to minus 4. So it is minus 4. Now consider second equation. Y equal to 10t. Differentiate this, we get velocity equal to 10. Differentiate velocity, we get acceleration equal to 0. So this doesn't give acceleration, whereas this gives acceleration. Now a small tip here: if displacement is constant, say 4, then this represents object at rest. If displacement equal to 4t, displacement depends on time means this represents velocity. Displacement equal to 4t square, then this represents acceleration. 4 constant, 4t square, along with that some other equation, something like 4t square minus 3t plus 5. If equation is of this format, then consider this: displacement times square means it represents acceleration. That is why I took this in the first shot. A particle A moves along the line y equal to 4 root 3. Y is constant, so this is velocity A at a distance 4 root 3 meter. Velocity 20 meter per second. This is 2 meter per second. Acceleration is 4. This is the acceleration. This acceleration is 4. Let us consider x component of the acceleration. This component is away from theta, so 4 sine theta, and y component is, this component is 4 cos theta. Okay, fine. At the same instant, particle B starts at the origin. Particle B starts at the origin with 0 speed. So initial velocity is 0 and constant acceleration a, like this. At the same instant that the particle A passes through the x-axis, the angle between A and y-axis, this angle, that would result in the collision between these two particles. Okay. Now consider motion in this direction. Consider motion in this direction. Okay. This initial velocity is 0 because it is mentioned starting from rest. Acceleration is 4 cos theta. So let me solve for y direction. Acceleration is 4 cos theta. Displacement is to reach A, 4 root 3. 4 root 3. In some time t. So st means s equal to ut plus half at square. Am I right? Yes. Initial velocity is 0. Displacement is 4 root 3. Half acceleration is 4 t square. So 4 get cancels. T square is 2 root 3. T square is 2 root 3. Okay. This is for y motion. Now let me consider motion along x-axis. By the time this A reaches this point, this B should also reach the same distance. Thereby this B can hit the A. There can be collision between B and A. So along x-axis, acceleration is 4 sine theta. This is for B. Okay. Along x-axis, distance traveled is s. In this same time t. So along x-axis, uniform acceleration. For uniform acceleration, st means s equal to ut plus half at square. Okay. Now for A. For A, in this direction, uniform velocity. So s is same displacement with velocity 2 meter per second and in the same interval of time t. St with uniform velocity means s equal to vt. So this s equal to this s. Distance traveled by B under accelerated motion is same as distance traveled by A under uniform velocity. Velocity is 2 time t equal to initial velocity 0, half acceleration is 4 sine theta into t square. Good. If I consider motion along x-axis, it is the acceleration is 4 sine theta. If I consider acceleration along y-axis, it is 4 cos theta. So there should be 4 cos theta here. So t square is 2 root 3 by cos theta. 2 root 3 by cos theta. Now observe this equation. T get cancels. 2 to 4, that 4 get cancels with this. Therefore t equal to 1 by sine theta. So t is 1 by sine theta, but what we want is t square. Let me substitute from here to this equation. T is 1 by sine theta. T square is 1 by sine square theta, which is equal to 2 root 3 by cos theta, or cos theta equal to cos theta by sine square theta equal to 2 root 3. Now we have to solve this. We have these four options. Now let us use induction method. Let me substitute 30 in this and let us see whether we get 2 root 3 or not. 30, first option, cos 30 is root 3 by 2 by sine square theta. Sine square 30 is, sine 30 is half, its square is 1 by 4. 2, this 2 goes to numerator, 2 root 3. Yes, 30 degree. Now let us check with other options. Second, 45 degree. Let me substitute 45. Cos 45 is 1 by root 2 by sine square 45. Sine 45 is 1 by root 2. Square is 1 by 2. But this demands, this t square demands, or cos theta by sine square theta demands root 3. So there is no root 3 term here. Don't simplify. Third, 50. You don't know cos 50 or sine 50. It is not a standard angle. Even I don't know. Let us drop this. 60. Cos 60 is half. Sine 60 is root 3 by 2 square. So root 3 square is 3. What we want is root 3. Therefore, 30 degree is true. A particle y, particle A moves along x-axis. A, x-axis with 10 meter per second. B with 20 meter per second. At an angle 60 degree. It is mentioned 60 degree. Fine. The relative velocity of B with respect to that of A. Relative velocity of B with respect to A. We should write like this. And this is defined as VB minus VA. Of course, they are vectors. Okay. Now this is A. This is A. This is B. VB minus VA means this can be written as VB plus of minus VA, isn't it? Of course, vectors. Plus of minus VA. This is VA, then this is minus VA. Then sum of these two means completely parallelogram, draw the diagonal. So this diagonal represents the sum of these two. If this angle is 60, then angle between B and minus A is 120 degree. Now we have to find the sum of these two. So resultant equal to root of that same expression, a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta, isn't it? Fine. Root of a square is nothing but this. This is 20 square plus b square 10 square plus 2 into 20 into 10 into cos angle between the vectors is 120. What is cos 120? It is minus half. Minus comes here. Minus 2 half get cancels. 200. This is 100. This is 400. Equal to, this is 300. This is 500. This is 200. 300. Root 300 is nothing but 10 root 3. 10 root 3 is only with this option. If 10 root 3 is there with other options, then check the remaining. A car is moving along the circumference of a circle with uniform speed 20 meter per second. It completes 1/4 of a revolution. The magnitude of change in velocity and change in speed are. This is the circle. A car is moving along the circumference of a circle with uniform speed 20 meter per second. No issues. What is change in speed means? When it covers 1/4 of a circle, speed remains same. That is the meaning of uniform speed. So change in speed is 0. 0, 0. So we have to choose between these two. There is no change in, but the change in velocity is not equal to 0. Not equal to 0 means this should be the answer. Let me explain. Change in speed speed at this point initial equal to speed at the final. Here also 20. So 20 minus 20, 0. 0. But this velocity is v final. This is v initial. So change in velocity equal to final velocity minus initial velocity. Final velocity is this. Initial velocity is this. V final, v initial. Final minus initial. This is plus initial. This is minus v. So complete the parallelogram, draw the diagonal. This is 20. This is 20. So this should be 20 root 2 because angle between the vectors is 90. So in that sense, we should get 20 root 2. A toy cyclist completes one round of a square track of side 2 meter. This is 2 meter in 40 seconds. What will be the displacement at the end of 3 minutes? Once 40 seconds. 3 minutes means 3 into 60. 180 seconds. 180 seconds is 40 plus 40, 80 plus 120 plus 160 plus 20. Second, one revolution, second revolution, third revolution, fourth revolution. After fourth revolution, if this is the initial position, after fourth revolution, 20 seconds left. In that 20 seconds, it will reach the opposite side. If this is initial and this is final, then this is the displacement. Pythagoras theorem, 2, 2, then this is 2 root 2. So displacement is 2 root 2. A body is moving with velocity 30 meter per second towards east. Let this be east and this is north. After 10 seconds, its velocity becomes 40 meter per second towards north. So initially it was traveling like this and then now it is like this. Final velocity equal to 40 along north. Initial is 30 along east. Average acceleration of the body is acceleration equal to change in velocity by time. Angle between these two is 90. Use Pythagoras theorem. So change in velocity is 50. Am I right? 4, 5, 4, 3, triplet 50 in 10 seconds. It is equal to 5 meter per second square. You have to find change in velocity like this. Okay. See here also angle between these two is 90. Here also angle between these two is 90. Therefore 40 and 30 gives 50 by time 10. 5 meter per second square. The position of a particle moving in the xy plane at any time t is given by 3t square, x 3t square, y t square. Earlier I said displacement depends on t square means accelerated motion. Here also accelerated motion. Select the correct statement. X equal to 3t square minus 60. Y equal to t square minus 2t. Okay. Acceleration is 0, velocity is 0, velocity. Differentiate this to get velocity. Velocity equal to 6 differentiating. Okay. 6t minus 6. Velocity equal to 2t minus 2. This is along x-axis, along y-axis. Velocity is 0 at t equal to 0. If you substitute 0, 0, then velocity is not equal to 0. This is wrong. Velocity is 0 at t equal to 1 second. Substitute t1, 6 minus 6 is 0. 2 into 1, 2 minus 2 is 0. So this is yes. Velocity and acceleration of the particle are never 0. Yes, velocity can be 0. Acceleration is 0 at t equal to 0. Differentiate these two again. Acceleration along x-axis is 6. Acceleration along y-axis is 2. Isn't it? 60 gives 6 minus 6 becomes 0, minus 2 becomes 0. We are differentiating with respect to time. See, acceleration is 0 at t equal to 0. Acceleration is constant and it is independent of time. This is wrong. Velocity is already 0, therefore this is wrong. Therefore C. Actually, conceptual type questions appears to be simple, but this type will kill time and you should be careful. Okay. A particle is moving uniformly in a circular path of radius r. When it moves through an angular displacement theta, then magnitude. A particle is moving uniformly in a circular path of radius r. When it moves through an angular displacement theta, then the magnitude of the corresponding linear displacement will be. So linear displacement yes, angular displacement theta. If options are like this, discrete and with different functions, it is appropriate and easy to use induction method. Okay. Let this be a circular path. This is the initial point. Let that itself be the final position. So angular displacement is 2 pi, 1 full. It is equivalent to theta, 0. So let us substitute 2 pi. Okay. And linear displacement. Substitute 2 pi in first option. 2r cos 2 pi by 0. Cos pi is minus 1. This results in minus 2r. Since initial equal to final, displacement should be equal to 0. But we are not getting 0. Therefore, this is wrong. Second option. 2r cot is tan. 1 by tan theta by 2. Because we are comfortable with tan function. If theta is 2 pi, this is 2 pi. 2 get cancels. Tan pi is 0. Some number by 0. 2r by 0 is not 0. But we want displacement equal to 0. This is not the option. Third, C. 2t, it is not t, this is r. 2r tan 2 pi by 2. Substitute theta 2 pi. 2 get cancels. Tan pi is 0, 0. Yes, this could be the answer. Fourth, 2r sin pi by theta by 2. 2r sin 2 pi by 2. 2 sin pi is 0, 0. This could be the answer. Now we are held up with two options. Let us go to second case. If this is initial position, this is final position. If it covers 1/4 of a revolution, nothing but angle is pi by 2, then displacement is 2 root 2, isn't it? Now here let me substitute pi by 2. 2r tan pi by 2 by 2. What is tan pi by 4? Tan pi by 2, tan pi by 4 is 1. 1 into 2r is 2r. What we want is 2 root 2. So this is not the option. 2r sin pi by 2. Pi by 2 and this 2. What is sin pi by 4? 1 by root 2. So 2r by root 2 equal to root 2r. So we get root 2r only from this. So this should be the correct option. Induction method means you should think, you should choose the appropriate cases. According to those appropriate cases, you should use the choices. Okay. If x equal to 5t plus 3t square and y equal to 4t are the x and y coordinates of a particle at any time t, where x and y are in meter, then acceleration of a particle is. Observe the equation. Displacement with t square means x. First equation has acceleration. Second equation, y with only t means y only has velocity. acceleration of the particle is 0 throughout the motion. No, acceleration is constant throughout its motion. 5t plus 3t square. Differentiate velocity displacement, we get velocity 5 plus 3 to 6t. Differentiate velocity, we get acceleration 5. So acceleration is constant. Acceleration is constant throughout the motion. Velocity y equal to 4t. Velocity equal to 4. Acceleration equal to 0. Acceleration is 0 throughout the motion. Here it is 0, but acceleration is not 0 here. Is constant throughout its motion. Acceleration, this acceleration contributes, therefore if it is 0 or non-zero, it is constant. Depends only on its y component. Y component is uniform velocity. Varies along both x and y. Y is velocity, x is acceleration. A body sliding on a smooth inclined plane requires 4 seconds to reach the bottom. This is inclined plane. A body is here. Downward acceleration is a. Time taken is 4 seconds. To cover this displacement, yes, time taken is 4 seconds. St means s equal to ut plus half at square. Initial velocity is 0, displacement is s, half, acceleration is a, t square is 4 square. In the second case, how much time does it take to cover 1/4 of the distance? 1/4. Total time is 4 seconds. 1/4 means 1 second. This is the common mistake. So 1 second is not the option. 16 seconds cannot be the option because total time taken is 4 seconds. 4 seconds is not the option because entire path is covered in 4 seconds. So this should be the answer. Still, let us solve. Okay. In the second case, displacement is displacement by 4 in time t. Again, s by 4t means, let me use the same formula. S is s by 4 equal to half a by 2 t square. Now divide one by the other. S get cancels. A by 2 get cancels. T square equal to 4. Therefore t equal to 2 seconds. Simplify, t square is 4, t is 2 seconds.